Ordinary Habits, Extraordinary Life is about mastering simple things in everyday life to expand your views, access more of your untapped potential, and evolve ordinary habits into an extraordinary life. Here is your host, Maria Bailey.
Welcome to Ordinary Habits, Extraordinary Life, where we dive into life's big questions with simple, real, and intimate stories from masters in their field, where we invite you to be curious, be inspired, and simplify the way. What do you call a person who acts unselfishly and has truly dedicated their life, day in and out, to be in service of others? What do you call those who have radical, life changing impacts on those left behind and on the fringes of the world that you and I are so blessed to enjoy? Well, we call them angels, saints, saviors, good Samaritans. I'm delighted to introduce you to one of those joyful angels today. Our guest is a master of genuine altruism, giving everything he had worked for in his life to empower academically gifted children from poor fisherman families in coastal India who aspire for higher education. Joy Solomon leads a charitable organization called Coastal Brains. As the son of a fisherman himself, he had the good fortune to have his education sponsored by an Englishman he met by chance in his childhood. With impeccable effort, he went on to earn his master's degree in biotechnology, finishing first in his class and working overseas for many years. But this was before he heard the call to something different and of a higher purpose. And he was drawn back to train and guide children like him from isolated fishing communities along India's Kerala coast so that they can become the medical doctors, engineers, scientists, pilots, captains, professors of the future and be of service to their village and to the larger world. Welcome, Joy.
Hi, thank you.
It's truly such an honor to have you with us today.
I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yes. So tell me so this is ordinary habits, right? Like what we do and what helps you do the great things that you have done. If we take it into the daily, day to day, what helps you to keep going and doing what you're doing?
In single word, if I say it's consistency,
Mm,
um, I am aware of the call I am
yeah,
invited to, and for this, I do my little steps
right.
without any pressure, without any hurry. I have
Mm.
enough time. The time given for me is to make one step at a time. That is the time available to me, and I make that step. And the next step, the time I do not know, it is in future, so I do not know whether that time is allowed to me or not. I'm very
Mhm.
aware of that. So the first step or the each step I take is within the allowed time. That means I live in the present. Even though I am aware of the call and I am aware of the bigger, uh, say, the goal where I am proceeding to, but I'm not in a hurry. I do it step by step. And I also am aware that the project which I am entrusted in this, I am not alone. I'm just a co worker. The master is not me, or the leader of the project is not me. I'm very well aware of this. I was called to assist in the project and I'm assisting. I do it with my utmost love for this and I do it consistently. And when I look back, now almost a decade, this happened, this started. And when I look back and all the episodes put together, I can see the bigger picture.
Right.
But when I started, I didn't know anything about what the bigger picture was there.
Hmm.
So I just do my daily routine things, but I do this with much love and with much enjoyment.
Oh, yeah. Um, so consistency, there seems to
Yes,
be an acceptance of time. So when others might feel hurried, or there's a way that you have an understanding of time that allows you to just, um will time be allowed or not? With the time that you have allowed, you will do as much as you can. So consistency, time allowance, and then the last thing you said, it was assisting, like co-working, rather than you being the head leader. It's part of a collaboration, perhaps, and we can talk about more of what that is and who are you collaborating with and assisting. So, but did I get right those three things that are important for
yeah,
you?
you're right. And I'm collaborating, or I am the co worker of the divine himself who called me to do this.
Can you say
When
more
I,
about that?
yeah, yeah. Um, I was in the Republic of Maldives as a high school biology teacher, enjoying my life there with a well paid government job with no much workload.
Yeah.
And in that peaceful and enjoyable life, leaving all those things, I was called to work for zero salary.
Right.
Leave all these things, the salary, the comfort, everything, and come and do this work, but for zero salary. The only thing I had to do was just obey that.
Hmm.
This is my inner call, and I obey that.
Okay.
And
It's yeah.
I have been experiencing from that first moment till this moment the company of that power who invited me to do this. As a single human being, when I look back, I would not have done this much. I'm a very limited person. Every human being has their limitations and their capacity. But when I look at this project, how much it grew in these
Yeah.
years, I can see Joy Solomon alone cannot do this. All those things were done. All the helping angels were brought in time for the things to happen like this. And this I have been experiencing all these 10 years. And of course, before that, I have been experiencing the same. Uh, this experience I would like to share is my meeting with this Englishman whom you mentioned in the introduction.
Yeah.
This meeting was also a divine plan,
Hmm.
which was the beginning, and then uh, the other episodes proceeded until I was called for this project. Because I was picked up from this fisherman community with all that experience of a fisherman's life
Right.
as a fisherman child, uh, experienced in fishing itself from my boyhood days, and experienced all the hardships of the job
Right.
and the life realities of the community. Giving me all these experiences in the beginning, he picked me up from this group of people and gave me the opportunity to be educated higher and higher. And for this, that meeting was arranged. I would say it was arranged because if my father came to shore from the sea after fishing, half an hour later or half an hour before,
Yeah.
we would not have met this Englishman. His name is Stephen. The timing was exactly synchronized
Hmm.
for all the three people to meet. My father to land on the shore after fishing, and me to go there from school, after my school, to the shore to help my father. And Stephen come there at that particular moment, and we meet together. And he is attracted by the traditional fishing craft and the fishes that uh, uh, led him to make photographs.
Hmm.
And I requested him to send me some pictures, because those days we didn't have pictures in our photographs, color photographs in our village. And he agreed and took my postal address, and it started in that way. But later on, it built up a correspondence between us, and that lasts till this moment. And that later on uh, led me to higher studies. Actually, I was supposed to finish my studies by class 10, this
Yes.
compulsory education.
And that's what the kids normally do in the fishing villages, right? They only get to a
Villages,
certain
yeah,
point and then they
yeah,
work.
compulsory education by the government, free of cost. But when we want to go for higher studies, then the parents will have to pay for that.
Right.
And also in remote villages, we do not have the facilities. We will have to go to the cities, where
Right.
we will have to spend also for the hostel, for our accommodation and food. This will be an additional cost for the family.
Right.
It is not affordable for the family, because for a normal fisherman, a traditional fisherman, their life is, or their work is for survival. Their fishing
Right.
activity is for survival. It's for their stomach, for the stomach
Right.
of the family. There may be an average of 5 or 6 people in the family. And this is the one fisherman who brings the fish in a traditional fishing way. Mostly they go rowing their traditional craft,
Hmm.
not so far from the shore. And so you can imagine the quantity of fish they can bring.
Right.
And with this, everyone has to survive. And there are times even we do not have money to have our basic necessities, even food. In those moments, they go and borrow money from rich people. And when they
Yeah.
get fish in future, they give it back. This is how people have been living in the past when I was a boy. And in those situations, considering a child to go for higher studies is impossible. One is that reason. Second thing is the parents are not aware of where to send and what education to be given to their children. These two things are there: financial limitation and knowledge, lack of knowledge about the educational system and all, and what are the other job opportunities. So as children, we know only one thing: the sea, the fishes, and the food. So
Right.
we know we have to go to the sea, catch fish, sell it, and have our food and our clothes. That's it. We didn't have
So,
a
Joy,
broader
if
idea.
I love when you bring it back. It's yeah, it's what you know, right? And perhaps for some of us who were raised in the city, who this is in some ways the opposite. This is the life we know. The ocean of the city is what we know, and the hustle of the city. Um, but there are things that we grow up knowing, right? Because it's part of our upbringing, and even maybe even family history, right? So this idea, I want to go back a little bit when you were talking about the divine plan, that I think is connected to the first thing that you said of consistency, but also the time allowed. Um, this idea of the divine plan, um, was it something that your parents believed? Is it part of your culture, or is it something that you understood as a little boy that this is true? Like maybe we can talk a little bit about that.
Yes. Um, Actually, when this happened for the first time, I didn't know anything about this. Like a normal human being with my limited understanding, I believed this happened by chance.
Right.
Oh, this is normal, something like that. But to appreciate this divine plan, it took me decades.
Yeah.
It's often like that. Uh, the plan of the divine sometimes is revealed to us after decades.
Mm,
Sometimes in a day we can understand, sometimes in an year, but sometimes it takes a decade. because it contains different episodes, and after all the episodes are played, then only we can see the connection behind why this happened like that, why so this one, why this one, and they are all connected. There's a sequence in this.
And so that's what I'm interested in, is what connects them all. Because what is interesting, what I'm curious is, like, for our listeners and for myself as well, is that there are things that perhaps I'm doing that, like you, like, I understand that. So Stephen thought it was a wonderful moment, you and your father picking things up, and so he asked you if you could if he could take pictures, and you said yes. And then just spontaneously you asked him, would you please send me a picture?
Yes,
But there's that impulse, right? Because
yes,
maybe another child would have said, okay, thank you, and
thank
doesn't
you.
care. Not only that,
Yes,
but then, as I understand the story, he sent you the picture, but then also you
yes,
responded back. And not only that,
yes,
but then you send them your notes, your grades,
yes.
year 10, and that's when the conversation happened, what would happen for you in the future. But I see something of who you are. And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but of, again, if we're talking about who is Joy, and um what is the ordinary thing, the thing that you are, that has helped you to get to where you are there. What is this impulse or this attitude, perhaps, of asking for the photo, or writing a letter to say thank you, or sending your grades, and keeping the communication?
Yeah, this all actually developed by itself. um, I didn't know that this would lead to my higher studies through this contact.
Right.
Yeah, the meeting itself was a coincidence. It just happened, and the taking the photos just happened. And I asked him to send me some copies, because the reality was I did not have those color photos in my house.
Right.
So it would be nice to have those things. And when someone send it to you, which you do not have, you are excited and very thankful. This is a big gift. And for this gift, I wanted to thank him with the little English I knew at that time.
Yes, exactly.
And I know later, my first letter to him was with mistakes, grammatical mistakes, and all, which I understood from his reply. He sent me back the same letter with corrections. And
Oh.
then I then this took to the next level, that I can rely on a person who is like a teacher. Maybe he can guide me in this uh, direction, or maybe with the language, with the English language.
Hmm.
Actually, the communication and the correspondence was beginning in that way, and he was also much interested in that, helping a young guy uh, from India, from a poor village, to develop his English language, because it is his mother tongue.
Right.
But when I finished my class 10 exams in 2 years after our meeting, I shared with him my mark sheet. And then came the conversation regarding my future. What is your plan? And then I share with him the reality of my family at that time, which I already shared with you,
Yeah.
the fisherman's life and conditions. Then spontaneously he offered, he told, from my marks, from my grades, he identified that I am a gifted child, academically gifted child, and I should not end up my life in miseries as a fisherman.
Mm.
And if it is the financial uh, problem, do not worry about that. Are you really interested to go for higher studies? This was
Right.
his question. I told, yes, I do like. And he asked me, what do you want to become then? Then I had in front of me only two role models. One is my father as a fisherman, and the
Right.
second one is my teacher from the school. I had to compare only these two people.
Right.
And I found a teacher is better than a fisherman.
Mhm.
Uh, it is not a hard job. It is also a reputed job, reputed profession. So I would like to become a teacher. This is how I decided at that point I will become a teacher. And
Yeah.
from that point, he uh, sent me for the higher studies. I was staying in the hostel doing my studies for my bachelor's degree
Because
and
you
my
had to go to
master's
the
degree.
city. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
staying there near the college where I studied. I was
Yeah.
staying there in the hostel, and all my hostel fees, my tuition fees for the college, everything was taken care of by Stephen. So I didn't
Um,
know any difficulties, financial difficulties during
yeah.
my studies.
So something that stood out to me, Joy, is you that you just said in passing, but it might be very relevant. That you said, yeah, it would be nice to have the pictures, you know, and I wonder if something as simple as that is like, yeah, it would be nice to study, or yes, it would be nice to something of an attitude of yes, it would be nice, and not in a demanding way, right? It's just like yes, of course it would be
Yeah,
nice to become a teacher, or then somebody offers you a job in the Maldives. It's yes, it would be nice to have
thank you.
this job. But then in the same way it worked coming back, that yes, it would be nice to help the other gifted children to be like Stephen was for you to be for them, or find other
Yeah,
people
yeah,
um, to sponsor children, give them the opportunity. So I wonder if it's something as simple as and also I'm saying that because something we can relate with you is something that then connects us is yeah when we dream when we dream yeah, maybe when we dream, yeah, it would be nice to have that. And then maybe the like the divine plan, the universe in some ways conspires. And then the next thing I heard you say is like, then you gave thanks. It's like, thank you for
yeah,
something of staying in connection, because it wasn't like, well, it would be nice to have the picture. And then you got the picture and it's like, well, it's done. But actually, something about that gesture of saying thank you, then kept the connection going. So two things I'm seeing here. It would be
yeah.
nice to have, and thank you when you receive. What do you think of that? Do you relate to that? Can you see it happening in your life in other areas?
Yes, gratitude. Gratitude is a big quality actually. This we cannot see in everyone. Um, this is also a gift. Being
Hmm.
grateful to smaller things. You may see this is smaller, but it is not smaller. If
Yeah.
you are grateful in smaller things, then you will be grateful in bigger things. You can
Uh,
say, in other words, uh, if you are faithful with smaller things, you will be faithful with bigger things. The same verses.
right.
So gratitude is also linked with the quality of love.
Mm.
When someone loves you, they do it. Uh, they express it physically in some way. I could also feel that Stephen loved to do that. Otherwise, as a tourist, he could make pictures and go his way without
Right.
taking the effort of printing it out and making an ordinary mail, going to the post office, posting it to me. This all takes time. But if someone loves to do something, or someone is loving somebody, then it can happen. When I receive that love, the same love in me, that comes out as
Mm.
gratitude. So love and gratitude are linked. This is my experience or my understanding.
Joy, if we let's talk about your daily, so
Yeah,
this is, we've talked a little bit of your past and the events that happened, and maybe even how your worldview changed a little bit from yeah, just a fisherman kid to oh, things happen actually, and there's a divine plan that
yeah.
opportunities. How does so for example in this week in the last because what time is it there now? It's very late, no?
And now it is 8:30
It,
night
at the night. Okay.
almost. Yeah.
So I'm imagining that you work many hours, and again, it's a lot of things to put together for the
Yeah.
kids. So so maybe going back to the original question. So from the morning, when you
Yeah.
wake up and all the things that you have to take care of, what is might be something that you do that helps you, and maybe even give us an example of like yesterday or today. What was a
Yeah. Yeah.
moment that brings you back to
Yeah.
either the call or the gratitude or the consistency?
Yeah. Um, so the original idea was to help maybe 5 or 10 children, gifted children, to achieve their goals, uh, to come to better professions from the
Yeah.
fisherman families. This was the original idea. And with this, I started working. My daily routine is like I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, early morning, and our lessons, the children and me together come at 6, morning
Okay.
at 6, and we spend 2 hours together. Here, I have been introducing some new teaching methods which we do not have in our ordinary schools, in our regular schools, like taking the children to the beach for getting the morning sunshine,
Ah,
and then they make a loud reading of their textbooks. They have 3 languages, so each day one language.
yeah.
A loud reading, uh, but the other people in the village would be walking around on the beach. And in the beginning, children were shy to do those
Yeah.
things, but later on, uh, by my motivation, they started doing this, and this started making more confidence in themselves. These simple activities developed more confidence in them, and
Yeah.
also this improved their reading qualities. And getting to the beach and getting the sunshine on their bodies were also helping them in some way. And these were the activities we do in the morning. Then we send the children to their regular schools, and
Ah,
in the evening they come back again by 5 o'clock in the evening. Then we go together for games. We play on the beach. Children love those activities. And alternative days we do yoga. We practice yoga, and then we come back to our small house which is our first school for coastal brains, the
okay.
additional school I can call. And there we do their school works, homeworks. I help them with their regular school works. And after finishing those studies, the children go home for their sleep. And also we arranged some food, snacks uh, there for their eating to take care of their health. This is how we were running a day from the first day onwards in Coastal Brains with 6 children in the beginning, and also giving them additional spoken English training. And the children in 3 months they started speaking English.
Wow.
And these changes and this special molding of these 6 children made a curiosity and among the other people, the other parents and children. And then they started coming and requesting to me to take more children, to take their children too. And then it was not possible because we were using my childhood days house, a small typical fisherman house, where the children were sitting on the floor, and I was helping them with their studies. No furnitures, nothing. Not more children can sit there. It is a so small one, small
Right.
room. And when this request started coming, I thought of getting support from other people. Then I started sharing it with my friends. I have my first of all I shared this with Stephen, and then also with Chiara, another friend from Italy, and all those well wishers and supporters. They found this very good, and they started supporting it. And
Right.
then they started speaking to others also. As willing supporters came, I could take more children and make a new study hall for them. So we could accommodate almost 24 children. Such a big study hall I made in the fisherman village. That every year, according to the availability of the support,
Right.
we started taking more and more children. And now, 10 years, by this time, the first batch, we can see where they are at the moment. They completed their class 12 last year,
Hmm.
and this year, two girls are doing their MBBS abroad. They are becoming medical doctors. They are in their first year medical studies in Asian Medical Institute in Kyrgyzstan.
Hmm.
Two girls are becoming medical nurses. They are doing their bachelor's degree in nursing in Bangalore city. That's in India, Bangalore city. And two boys among them, they are uh, doing their bachelor study. One is doing the bachelor study, the other is doing a course in Polytechnic, who is doing uh, electrical and electronic engineering, the
Yeah.
course. So the first batch students, they are now, as per I visualized the beginning of the project, to take them to better professional studies. And this is achieved. And I'm very happy. And now I know the picture, the bigger picture,
What's
how
possible?
what's possible.
Joy,
In the beginning, it was just an idea.
right.
The beginning.
So in
Yeah.
this journey, the way I introduced you was I think what I've known of you and how I see you do what you do. Um, why I said that what I think you've mastered is is the art of altruism, right? Is being of service and giving of your life so unselfishly. So, well, I guess my first question is this true? Do you experience it that way? Do you feel like what you've become better and better at in your life is some sense of altruism of service to others?
Yeah, of course. I believe for every human being, there is a purpose on this earth. Realizing that purpose and living to that purpose is important. I realized this is the purpose of my life here,
Mm,
and
mm.
I just love doing that.
So, okay. So then if that is true, that is and I think you called it the call, you heard the
Yeah,
call and this is your purpose. And again, if I go back, there's the commitment um and accepting the divine plan and the gratitude. Are there times in your day where I guess it's like, how do you keep the consistency of service? Are there times, I mean, and maybe like I'm trying to connect it with myself, but like, are there times where you just maybe get frustrated? It's like, I don't have any more to give. What else do you want from me? And, like, is it just really that natural for you, the service and the giving? Or is that something that also through time it has been developed and how?
yeah. I also learned, or I also practice without losing the quality of love to the people who comes to us,
Mhm.
to say no when it is to be no. This is very important. That's what I told. We share the truth. When I have
Yes.
one bread in my hand, someone already came and took the bread. The second one comes and asks me for another bread. When it is not there, I have to tell them the truth. I do not have it. I'm sorry. Maybe in future, if I get one more bread, I will consider you. Without losing that love and without them losing the hope. So a
Oh,
no in certain moments, a no should be a truthful no. We should not think, if I say no, what the person will think. You are not looking at the truth inside you. if you consider what the person will think. The truth is inside you. If you do not find out the truth in you, who will find out the truth in you? You have to do it for you. So when you say no, you have to say no with the same love when you say yes. So I don't find a difficulty with that. But of course, when people take it in their mental level, they may have different assumptions, different conclusions to this.
Right.
But that is not my business. That is their business. And in the beginning, I had some troubles with that because
Can you give us an example? What was?
yeah, for example, when we started helping with 6 children in the beginning, more children wanted to come.
Right.
And in this particular village, there are almost 1,200 school-going children. It's a highly populated fisherman village. When I'm helping 6 children and another 50 children want to come,
Right.
I have to say no to them. Then they feel there are different feelings. Some may feel jealous of the other child, or some may feel unhappy because they did not get the chance. And this can lead them to talk or express their feeling in their words in a negative way. So they may have some bad feelings to us when we say no. In the beginning, it was the case. But now we are supporting 300 children.
Oh, wow.
That means those feelings are slowly coming down or almost coming down. But in the beginning, those feelings were very high among
Right.
the people. Now they know it is because of the lack of resources that Joy had to say no at that time.
So again, Joy, what gives you strength? So because one thing is to know, like, so now if from this conversation, or I hope our listeners, when they hear you, now they know, right? Like, okay, I need to share the truth. It's like the truth of me, the truth of the situation. If I only have one bread to give, well, it's one bread I have to give, and that is the truth. So that is knowing it in my head. But then another thing is to actually in the moment of truth, and when somebody's asking, is to I guess the way I translate it is like there's a strength, right? There's a strength of character or courage to speak the truth, or even when you say the gratitude, or to stay true in your purpose, because to leave the comfortable job that in the Maldives, as director of science in the school. And so yes, I'm trying to get a little bit more inside of you, of what gives you strength. Because one thing I think what I've learned in this conversation is that you are clear in your mind, maybe, that
Yes.
what is the call, what is the path, what is your purpose. um how does Yeah, what helps you then stay true moment to moment, every day, even anyway, that you get my question, what helps you
Yeah,
stay
and I
strong?
understand. I understand. Yeah. Um, See, my understanding is from our Indian spiritual philosophy says, "Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu," means may all beings everywhere in this world be happy and free.
Hmm.
Be happy and free. When we say the whole world, then I am a unit of that. If I am happy and I am free, then only I can think of the others to be happy and free. For me, I'm happy and I'm free. I never think of the degrees, or I will never think of my age, nothing. I happily and freely involve with everyone. I play with people of all ages. I play football on the beach with the young people. I play cards, the playing cards
Yeah, yeah.
with with the elderly people on the beach.
Mm.
They may be the age of my grandparents or my parents, no matter. I play goti with the small children who are 5 years and onwards. When they are playing on the street, I see them. I just play with them.
What is goti? I don't know that I know that
A
game.
goti is made of glass, a round one,
Oh,
like
like marbles, like the
marble,
little
marble. Yeah,
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 yeah.
a
Okay,
little
okay.
one. We
Yes,
can play
yes.
this with finger. With finger,
Yes,
we can
yes.
play it. The small children play this, and when I see them, I play with them. And in all those moments, I become one among them.
Mm,
This is because I love to live the child in me always. The
mm.
child in me is always there. Whenever I am playing with them, the child in me is playing with them, with the people of all ages. And I'm happy because I keep my child alive, even
Yes.
if many years passed, even if I become older. But the child is the father of man, and this child is always alive. The thing is, in many people, their child in them is dead sometimes or inactive, and they become very big people. Their positions, their degrees, their financial
Mm,
status, all these things take over their child. Then, then they cannot be a child anymore, and they lose their happiness.
yes.
This is what I understand also from the quoting by Jesus: "Be a child, and the heaven is yours." The heaven,
Mm,
what is heaven? This is not a place in the universe, or this is not a place where you will go after death. This is a state. This is a state of your life. When you are like a child, you are happy and you're free, you are in heaven. This is what I experience. This is the truth I would like to share with everyone. Loga samasta sukhino bhavantu is possible only when it happens in you first, when it happens in me first.
yeah. So if
I cannot,
I
I
I
actually,
I
this is
feel that
the, yeah,
go ahead, go
this
ahead.
is actually, yeah, this is actually the ultimate purpose or the ultimate
Mhm.
state where each being can reach. But what we actually help others, usually we help them with their um, physical needs. For example, here in Coastal Brains, the beginning was like you help them with their educational purpose so that they can have a better job and then they can have enough money and better life
Right.
conditions. But now my call is also getting expanded uh, to this direction. It is man is not living by bread alone. This meaning is very clear to me now. Man is not living with bread alone.
With
That
bread, you mean just
bread, I mean,
yeah, the
with the
bread, the eating
physical,
bread. Yeah,
yeah,
man
I
doesn't
mean,
live just by
just
eating, just by the bread.
eating bread. That means not just with the physical facilities. This
Exactly.
is the this is the
Like basic
this was
necessities. There's more to than
yes,
just
yes. There is
meeting
more
basic
to,
necessities. Yeah.
yeah, there is more to life. And I'm sharing this truth. And now it is easy for me to share the same truth with all my children. And I would like them, of course, their physical conditions to be better, but ultimately they all come to experience this truth of life. And that is also my call to share with them this truth. Be happy, be free. Nothing of the physical uh, things limit this quality or this possibility, being happy and being free. And for this, be a child always.
Joy, would it be fair to say then, because when I asked you at the beginning of this conversation, well, what helps you, and you said consistency, and then we went on a journey of different things. Would it be fair to say that then what you've been consistent is fulfilling this understanding of life, of the freedom and the happiness of all beings that includes you. So
Yeah.
if that is your effort, the consistency every day, and again, I'm trying to make understanding. So tell me if this is accurate. The way you do that, so the small behaviors is, well, um, uh, accepting time. It's taking one step at a time, one day at a time. Is accepting the divine plan. It's dreaming that it would be nice to to improve this moment, right?
Yeah.
The practice of gratitude. I also think the practice of receiving guidance, like it seems like you accepted Stephen as a mentor or as a teacher, and then you've allowed help to come to you. And then the last thing you said, yeah, and keeping the joy and the play alive. But how I see it is like all these are activities, and I'm
Yes.
moving my hands, bringing it as a whole, but like activities to serve, like you said, this higher purpose, which
Yeah.
is an intention for freedom and happiness for all beings, which starts with yourself. And that is the consistency. Would it be fair to say it that way? How would you say it?
Yeah. Um, Actually, as I mentioned, the little things that I have been doing, I keep doing that. And in course of time, I am taught new things or the different different forms of the truth. Then automatically I have to share what new has been given to me.
Right.
And in the beginning, when this project was started, it was just those physical things, giving better education, helping the children to reach a job and have their economic condition become
Mm,
better. That was there a few years back, and I have been doing that step by step consistently. And as the days progress, as the years progress, I am entrusted or I am given new guidance or new things
mm,
to share with them. It is not
right.
just this. Again, there is something more. So the whole the whole drama is not
Mm,
yet finished. There are different episodes, and this is another episode now happening with me. Uh, Not just the bread you can help them with. There is
right.
something more than that. And now I am being prepared for this. My first normal activity for those physical achievements, plus now I'm being prepared for helping them all the other beings around me, my students, the other people, to share this truth also, the higher truth, to help them to experience this higher truth.
Well, and again, I hope as listeners you can receive joy in what he's saying right now, which is again your level of generosity. So as you are receiving, whether it is the opportunities or your understanding or the people that then parts of the world, like your friends in the UK or your friends in Italy, or uh, it it seems like whatever comes to you, then you share with the
Yes,
kids. So before it was okay giving them sort of basic needs, sustainability, and now you're understanding, well, no, actually it needs also more of helping them understand more than just having bread at their table, what it means to be happy. And then now you're sharing that too. So I also see the activity of whatever it is that you understand, whatever it is that you have, I see you giving it and sharing it with
yes,
others.
yeah, it is true.
Mm,
When when we have something good, we get something good. We can tell others, oh, yeah, this is good. Just try
mm,
this.
absolutely.
That's normal. Everybody does it. It's a
Not
it's a
everybody does it, Joy. I tell you,
it's a
I
it's a
I
mouth
don't
advertisement.
Yeah, I don't do it all the time, I have to say, and so I'm very inspired. And perhaps what I'm taking away is like many of the things you said. Of course, I know it seems like basic goodness, right? Like we understand, but there's a way how I've heard you live it, that there's a courage to honesty, and then also, well, what I can do right now. So not, and then the plan will be revealed day to day. Maybe it's what I'm taking away. What are you taking away from this conversation? How what yeah, what did you learn something new about yourself, or how was it to share with us your life story and what you do?
I take this opportunity as getting one more person to share the truth of my life,
Mm,
the truth that I would like to share with other people. At the moment, I have one person in front of me, and I know this podcast will take this to many more hearts. So, sharing the truth with many more hearts
mm.
is the biggest uh, achievement of this talk.
Thank you so much, Joy. So how how could people, if people are inspired, either by you, they want to know more about you and how to contact you, or maybe they want to know more about Coastal Brains and how to help the kids in the fishing village. How should they contact you? What's the best way?
Uh, we have our blog,
Mm,
hostelbrainsblogspot.com,
okay.
hostelbrainsblogspot.com. Thus, uh, we update the activities in this blog.
Yeah.
This is not expensive, very free. Freely we can do. And here our contact details are given. If anybody likes to contact us, or if they are making a visit to Kerala, they are always welcome to our school to have a talk with our children, or they can have a talk with me or with the other teachers here. And of course, as a local level guide, I can help them as a
Right.
guide also. I'm a guide for the village lives. Many people, especially the international tourists, love to experience the village life of India or village life of Kerala. And I have been doing that since a couple of years. And I will be very happy to help them with that too. They will
Fantastic.
have a nice experience for that.
Well, Joy, thank you so much for all that you do and for inspiring us today to take one step at a time, to be consistent, and maybe even listen a little bit closer what our purpose is, so we can give ourselves to that. Anything else you want to say for closing?
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to share with you about my life, the ordinary things I do in my life. Uh, the the topic or the name of the program is excellent.
Mm,
Uh, when I saw this, I was just thinking, wow, my ordinary habits and my ordinary routine things that has brought some extraordinary things in my
yeah.
life and in the lives of others. This heading was actually making me to think about uh, the greatness of what I have been doing actually, but I was not
Oh,
aware of this.
so
I was not
glad.
aware of this. Yeah, this topic is excellent. Ordinary
Um,
habits, extraordinary life.
yeah, may it continue. Truly, may it continue, may it continue, may it continue.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Until next time, be curious, be inspired, and simplify the way.